I feel like talking to someone this episode.
Well, luckily for you, that could be arranged.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it a good talk?
It's an excellent talk.
Fantastic.
And it's I mean, it couldn't be anything less than excellent. Because
yeah, you know what? I'd love to bring back a friend that we've talked to before.
You know what? I think we can make that happen.
Fantastic.
And not, and just like just all around great guy who is fun to talk to, really gets into it and, is just basically a delight.
Yeah. Smart, approachable, good head on his shoulders, all around good person. We're setting the bar pretty high. Are we going to be able to do this?
I think we are. We are. Well, luckily we have a plethora of choices, but we
sure do.
We narrowed in on this one, and bam.
All right.
It delivers on all those levels.
Fantastic.
And more.
More.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited.
Well, should we let listeners dive into this fantastic conversation? Or should we just make them wait a little longer by breathing heavily and loudly into there we go. Sounds like we're on the inside of a respirator.
Let's just go to the episode.
All right. We're off. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
And this is Danny.
And today we have returning to the show, Kyle Hester, actor extraordinaire, producer, man on the go. Hard man to track these last few months. Hey, Kyle.
Oh, my God. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. It's good to be back with familiar faces. And so thank you.
Well, thank you for finding the time. I know you are still getting settled.
Yes.
Yes. Let's start with that. So, because the last, because the
last year
wasn't, but I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. It wasn't the last time we exchanged communications, but several months ago reached out and said, "Hey, how would you like to be back on the show?" And you said, "Yeah," but you were getting ready to move. I said, "Okay, cool. Let's wait till you get there and give you some time to settle." And then I'm not going to say where because we'll just let you cover that. You got there and then you had to settle, but then things were going on. And next thing I knew, you were packing again and moving. I told Hilton, it's like a moving target.
It totally is. It totally is.
Where's
Kyle?
It's like
I actually haven't told this story, like the whole story, to anybody. So this would be breaking news. Is like how it all kind of happened.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's hear what was going on.
Yeah. So basically, back in November, or this was when the whole COVID was getting really bad everywhere, and it's like here in LA, it was getting really bad. So we're like, all right, well, maybe there's a chance, to because I'm basically my family's from New Orleans, had been there for a million years and whatnot. So I was like, well, I know that they're making movies, there or trying to, so why don't we go check it out for a little while, And so I'm like, okay, cool. So we're going to do that. So we're going to so we packed up everything and we moved to Louisiana, which is Mandeville actually, which is on the other side of the causeway from New Orleans.
Right.
So at that point it was kind of like, all right, so we're going to give this a shot here. And then when you realize that you don't, the 25 years of contacts, that I have here, we're back, but we'll get to that. So it's like how do you make up like basically a lifetime of contacts and knowledge in like when you first get somewhere? It's like
Right.
there's different ways to do something, but it's like if you have money, so if you have a lot of money, you can do anything. You just hire people, pull out the local, like, we're filmmakers.com, and, well, I charge $600 a day, and, whatever. It's like, all right, well, I've got millions of dollars, so that's fine. It's like, well, I'm not that guy, so it's like, I realized it's like, wow, I don't know anyone here, and it's like in my innate personality is like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll just meet people and we'll just do it. We'll just make movies there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the harsh reality of you can't really do that like in a quick fashion without having a lot of money, because it's like, and it's not LA. So there's not, so it's like the pool is smaller, in these other cities.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it becomes more difficult, to kind of like garner those relationships with people that you've never worked with before. So there's all of that. It's like, how do you know who has the chops and what, so that, and it was something that like, out of my kind of like over exuberance of I can do anything, I'm Kyle Hester, no problem. It's like that's how I kind of go into things, and
confidence.
Then getting there, it was like, I really need to look at this and reevaluate how we're going to do things. Like, if we're going to make independent films, especially in today's climate, where there's like, crowdfunding is way more difficult now,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, because people are trying to get on their feet, and, how are we going to survive, in everyone else's life, so,
right.
There's kind of a global pandemic that's still going on, in the world. So it's like taking all of that into account. It was like, well, we really need to be back there. We really need to be back with the people that we know, so that we can kind of all pull in ranks and make things happen with the people
Mm-hmm.
that we know.
Right.
And so there will be time, to do other things in different cities and whatnot. But so basically we had signed a 6-month lease. So we had to, live out the lease, and we did that, and we basically left things in boxes, so we didn't even unpack the place, entirely, because when we got there, and was basically like, mistakes may have been made, so, and the thing is, it's like, it's a beautiful place. It's like we were living like right by a lake, and it was gorgeous, and you're in the woods, and I would say this, it was definitely more difficult on my wife living kind of like in the country area, because because I was familiar with it and kind of knew what to expect, but it's like she grew up in San Diego and LA, like in big cities.
Yeah.
So it's like the culture shock was, it's substantial, so it's basically like, okay, like reevaluating, recalculating, so we recalculated, and we're like, okay, so we got to get back. So, and now here we are back in Hollywood, and we're like right in the middle of Hollywood. So, which is great. It's like, I actually don't even have to, if I didn't want to have a car, I wouldn't need a car. It's kind of feels like being in New York. Like everything is right around. It's like within walking distance. Like today I went to the post office and the grocery store and, drugstore, all on like a walk with a backpack today, so that's very different from where we were before, where basically to go to a grocery store, you got to get in the car and it's 4 miles.
Right.
So So just very, very different stuff. But anyway, so we're back and we're super glad to be here and glad to get back to work and glad to, be kind of settled where I can finish Preacher 6. So that's
Excellent.
the plan.
Whoa,
Awesome.
that is a very fluid and rapid, like rapids in a river kind of 6 months. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
and we get it because at the time you made this move, we were, and we still are thinking, we want to get out of Wisconsin, but a couple dozen things have to happen. But where is our target going to be? And that target keeps moving rapidly.
Yeah.
For various reasons. One, we're like, well, tell you what, Atlanta, if we don't want to go to LA and we want a, bit cheaper cost of living, we could hit the Atlanta area. Things are going on there. But then with recent things having gone on, the political climate there just makes my spine cringe. It's like, man, I don't know if I could do that. It's like, it'd be like moving to Texas. We talked about how, Austin is a beautiful place, but same thing. It's like, well, here's the reality of daily life there. I don't know if I can be surrounded by people who are diametrically opposed to us spiritually, politically, and morally. These last, this last election showed a lot.
I mean, and that was, that was a big part of it too. I mean, it's like, I get along with everybody, so so putting that aside, you definitely feel like going to a place where you have like people like you see more blue line American flags and like real American flags, and you're like, what's happening here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll just say this about like American flags, or flags. I don't think anything should be like altered on it in any way. Like no matter who's coming from it. It's like, so basically like, when people put like, the whatever, the blue line, or the don't tread on me over the American flag. I mean, it's like that stuff makes my skin crawl, because it's like you talk about desecrating the flag. It's like that's what you're doing, you know. So
I get it.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it's like when you're surrounded by that kind of thing, and it's like, what? This is uncomfortable, And so I think it's like you want to be in a comfortable place wherever you end up. And so, and that's a part of it. I mean, it's like, I grew up in Texas, I grew up in Houston. So I know what you're saying. And I know what that's like, to grow up in, kind of like a culture that doesn't fit with you, Now I did grow up in Houston, which is one of the biggest cities in the country, but it's like, I would say it's more progressive than a lot of Texas is, especially where I live. So it's like, and I went to performing arts high school, so I was kind of insulated in my own, creativity and that kind of thing. So it's not like it wasn't too bad for me there. But I mean, it's Texas. I mean, my mom lives there now, and she's got an antique shop, and so she deals with like, she's in her 70s, and so she basically still has people put masks on to come into the store, and most people are good, but like she had this guy say, "I'm never coming here again," because she made him put on a mask, and it's like, and she's vaccinated, and so's her husband, and so's everyone else in the shop, but it's like, that's her store policy, and so that's it. It's like, I care. Yeah, exactly. And see, in California, everything's opened up here, and and pretty much anyway. But some stores are the same. So it's like, I carry a mask wherever I go. So it's like, if you want me to put it on, I'll put it on. If I don't need to, I won't. It's like, I'm vaccinated, so it's like the problem how do we get to talking about this? What you want to keep going with this, or?
Yeah.
Well, I
no.
was going to actually, if it's all right, I was going to say,
Yeah.
because you brought up earlier when you moved and you were like, oh, it's fine. I'll just I'll just meet people, I'll make friends.
Yeah.
Or I think that even over the past year would have been extra difficult with the pandemic and everything closed down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge barrier to that. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. I grew up in a very sort of like nomadic kind of way, moving around a lot. Like everything I owned could fit in like 3 or 4 boxes.
Wow, that's cool. That would have been very helpful.
So I kind of grew up as this like eternal beginner everywhere I went. I was like, well, I guess I'll just make friends here. And,
Right.
So like that comes anywhere I go. I'm like, I guess I'll just make friends. It's not that hard. But then as you get older, it gets harder. And then in this, it gets even more hard.
Yeah. Well, what swung us to this, we were just talking about the move. We were thinking of going to Atlanta and the politics, and then Texas and stuff. And I think that's this last 2 years. I mean, COVID has shown us a bunch too, but the last 2 years have really kind of made things just super crystal clear. Things that have been always blurry in the background. I mean, we get along with pretty much everybody, but sometimes you have to look at like planning a move. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not Jackie Chan. I can take on maybe 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 people who I just can't get on board with their belief system. But, they're nice people. So you know what? We don't have to talk about it. It's like that old Italian rule, things you don't talk about at dinner: politics, religion, and family. Just leave those out and you'll have a beautiful dinner party. Right.
Yeah.
But moving to a whole state that is proudly, the political structure is proudly saying, we're against all this stuff. I can't take that on. I'm not the Jackie Chan of it. It's like that's going to be too many people and we're just going to be miserable eventually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, I will say this. It's like, what's wrong with Wisconsin? Like, why do you want to maybe...
Would you like to start, my dear?
Okay. First of all,
reason number 1. Go for it.
First of all, this place is an Arctic tundra and I hate it.
Okay. Yeah.
Second of all, Wisconsin, you might think that it has a particular political climate, but we're a huge swing state. We have 2 major metropolitan cities, Madison and Milwaukee. And then everywhere else is very like backwoods, rural, farming communities. And they're diametrically opposed to each other. Everyone in the farming communities hates people in the metropolitan areas and vice versa.
Yeah, it's a thing. When you grow up here, I mean, we've spent most of our lives here. You just kind of deal with it. But
here's the principal thing, and this is the most important thing, aside from it being cold, which is actually number 1 for me.
Yeah.
But they don't care at all about creatives or filmmaking or anything. They offer nothing at all in the way of assisting with that. Like, they don't give like tax breaks to filmmakers.
No.
There's no structure built into the state arts programs for film or anything like that. We have one itty bitty film festival and that's about it. And every other group is just run by people who are like super, passionate about it and just, have the gumption to make it happen. But it is like, it's a real uphill struggle. I think even more so than somewhere that supports the art.
Well, here's a good example. So with the COVID stuff, there's a lot of relief for artists. Okay. The state got some money for grants. Filmmaking is not even on the list. Filmmakers, anybody involved with that is not on the list. They're talking about people who make jewelry, paintings, which, is fine. But it's like they're anti-film. They're just not going to say it publicly. So
that's so weird.
It is very weird.
It is. And I mean, there are some small filmmaking groups, but nobody has done anything of note over any sustained period of time. So being writers, we're like, okay, because doing this, we have talked to people like you and Hilton and all this stuff. We are talking with someone about our zombie script. and that could become a reality. We're pretty close with them, and it's, but you know how much easier it would be if we were a 15-minute drive from getting to people. And the other thing is, I don't want to say too much about it, but we have a business idea that before COVID hit, and it's almost 2 years, a year and a half, we were planning on jumping into this, moving to LA and starting a business that is geared towards creatives, particularly writers, but filmmakers in general on the indie scene. And did some random polling, started all the stuff you got to do before you start making a business plan. It's like, would there be an interest? Would there be an interest? And the target audience is creatives and writers who just, they're almost always broke. they're doing their day jobs. And it's like, well, you know what? We can provide some of the basic stuff that these folks need. So, that's pretty much all I'll get into it. Trying to figure out where to do that elsewhere.
Anywhere that's not LA.
Like doing it here, I don't think it would be, LA has probably a 5,000 to 1 ratio of people who are actively trying to become a screenwriter or an actor or, get into, making some kind of film, right? There just isn't a lot of that here. So that was kind of our thing. It's like, hey, you know what? If we go out there and pursue this business while we're plugging away at that, we're also closer to, like you said, folks that you can make contacts with and, just not try to get anything out of them, but, just casual conversations. Like if we were in LA, we'd be doing this in person, right?
Right.
Wouldn't think anything of, hey, you doing anything today? I'm going to be hanging out at the coffee shop near, it's like 3 blocks from you. You want to come sit and hang? We have no problem saying that to people. But when you're in Madison,
right.
It just isn't going to work. So, that's kind of the whole reason for us moving. It's kind of like you have basically like the family that you left.
Right.
And then came back to. We're trying to build one, eventually. And we do have, we have, like you and Hilton and Eric and Cliff and Jeff and Lowell, all these wonderful people who communicate with us. But gosh, it sure would be nice to be in somebody's circle instead of like, we're like Radio America. We're on a boat somewhere off the coast.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I hear you. Well, and but have you thought about New Mexico?
I have thought about New Mexico and thinking of Arizona because this large group of people we're talking to are in Arizona. I used to live in Arizona, which is why our zombie film, the script we wrote, takes place in Arizona because it just made sense to me. Write what you know. Write what you know. It can be modified, but we're just going to see what happens. It's now that things
that's cool.
Coming because like you, man, it's been limbo, right? We were just talking about before we got started. Who knew what was actually going to happen?
Yeah.
And when? What is normal?
Well, I don't think anyone went into this like really fully understanding how stressful just waiting is. Just waiting is so stressful.
Sure.
No focus. Let's talk about, let's jump into Preacher 6.
Yeah, enough about us.
So,
Kyle. Let's talk about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's a perfect example, right? You were doing something, you had your goals and levels, and something comes along and doesn't just pause it. This isn't like, oh, our funding fell through. So we got a campaign. This could take another 2 months. Let's see what happens. This was like erasing the whiteboard. I mean, nobody.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much
anything to look at.
It got shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no concept.
So it's like,
yeah. When are you going to bring it back?
How do you do this? So it's basically, when the whole COVID, hit, it was like, okay, well, there is no crowdfunding right now, so I just basically said, okay, we're just going to push pause. We're going to stop the record. Let's take the needle off of that record for a minute. And let's just like let's survive this pandemic.
Mhm.
It's like job number one is to keep your sanity, and survive,
Yes.
and then when it's like kind of like the sun's coming out now and like, things are changing, things are getting better and, businesses are coming back and, all in California, the last state to open up is like opened up, so it's like, so things are getting back. So it's like, okay, someone turn the lights on, in the country, and,
Yep.
So it's like, okay, so we can get moving again, and, so it's like, so that's where we are. We're like picking it back up and getting it done so that we can move on and like keep doing these things. And it's like in the land of COVID, it's like here in LA, they were doing things to, protect everyone, so
Mhm.
you had to have like, the whole COVID team, for making films and stuff like that, which for an independent filmmaker, it's like pretty much impossible,
Right.
to do. It's like, because you're hiring these people that have to, they have to have your certifications and that kind of stuff,
Right.
and it costs an arm and a leg. So it's like, it's almost like, you got to up your budget a third to do anything. And
Yeah.
it's like when nobody's giving any money to anything, film wise. So then you got to, your movie's going to cost more to make. So it's like, there's nothing. It's like, oh, well, we're going to just not do that right now.
Yeah.
So now it's like with everything kind of changing and all those things, I'm sure that they'll adjust those laws and stuff like that here as we go on. But it's like, okay, it's like, take a breath, put your feet on the ground, and let's, kind of like start walking in the direction of getting things going again.
Right. So right now, you're campaigning to get the funds for VFX for Preacher
Yes.
6, correct? So
Yes.
just so listeners can catch up, what has been done then that you're at the VFX level? I mean, all the principal shooting and everything is.
Yeah, principal photography is all done. I do need to do like some pickup shots and stuff like that. Like as I'm going through the film, and editing and going like you have like in the edit you'll have like opening scene. And you need insert shot, of like a establishing shot here. It's like, oh damn it, we don't have that establishing. So I gotta go like get, some of those shots, that will make the film make sense.
Right.
It's like
Right.
when you go through and you're shooting things, you're like, oh yeah, we'll get that later. So all those, oh yeah, we'll get that later, that all adds up,
Oh, for
so
sure.
yeah, so basically there's a little bit of like, we'll get that later that I still have to get. And then like the VFX, it's like if anyone was going to like go big or go home, like we definitely like went big on Preacher 6. So it's like as a first film, it's like if I could do it again, I don't know that I would do it this way, with all of the visual effects that I am not an expert in. So
Yeah.
it's like if I could give advice to anyone who's making a movie, do something where you know how to do everything. So that was the only thing, for this one, which is taking the time and and kind of learning, the whole learning curve of how to make those things happen as we're going. And so now like bringing on some other people that actually know more than I knew before.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's where we're at. So we're just like picking the football up, and there's no Lucy, taking the ball away. So we're gonna get it done, and so basically we're just like have the campaign going on Indiegogo right now, and it's like what we'll do, it's like we'll just keep listing them, So and that's the thing with Indiegogo is like you get to keep what is put in. So it's not like Kickstarter where it's all or nothing.
Right.
So it's like if it, however long it takes, how long it takes and that's kind of where I am, right now is like, it's getting done. And that's all that I know is it's getting done. Do I know when it's going to be released? I do not, because of right now, I am in the it's getting done phase, of the
Yeah.
world. But yeah, that's where we are. So
Okay. And so you have Indiegogo, because that's
mhm.
going. And listeners, we'll have all these links. Uh, Kyle's Film Garage shirts. You still
Yeah.
doing that? Are you
Oh
doing
yeah,
the Viking compass
I
as
am.
well? And that's all going
Yeah,
for it?
that's all on the link. So basically
Okay.
anything that I have, all my shirt that I screen, it's all going to the films. And
Okay.
so yeah.
We got to buy
Sweet.
some of this.
Yeah, we've been, putting it off.
I completely
but
I'm not
but
going anywhere.
but
So
but we are contributors to Preacher Six, because we did that
yes,
last
you
time we
are.
talked to you. So, we're not just skirting,
No,
talking
you
shit.
are not.
We're so yeah, listeners, in the little after bit we do of after an interview, we're just going to keep hounding you. So let's just get it out there right now. Get out there and buy some stuff. Jesus Christ, you can do it. If you go to Starbucks every week, you know what? Cut one out and help a guy make a film, because we've said it before and we'll say it a million times. This is where it's at. This is where people get brave. This is where art thrives. And that's why we're here. So do it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I want to watch this movie.
Hell yeah.
So
I've been looking at these behind the scenes shots. I'm dying to see this product, man. These people with such intense
Yeah,
expressions.
I have a Patreon for like $3. So and I'm actually going to be putting some more as soon as I get into my computer here, which as soon as this all gets dialed in behind me here, so I'll be able to kind of like get some work done. And so yes, I'll be putting some more behind the scenes stuff on the Patreon too.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Sweet. Now, so is there anything else besides, I mean, yeah, obviously you got to do the editing, got to get the effects done, fold that in. How much more in the editing process? Are you to soundtracks yet, or,
That all comes last. So basically,
Yeah.
like, in order to do all of the soundtrack and the composing and that kind of thing, you have to have a locked script or locked cut of the film.
right.
So that I will once we have a locked cut, then I can hand it off to Douglas Edward, who's our composer, and so he'll like do the whole thing, like
Nice.
all of the like the music and the build up things and those little sounds that you put in, so he's going to do the whole score for the film.
Okay.
So that'll be after everything's done. So we have a ways to go on everything that we're doing, but we're just, one foot in front of the other, and we'll get it done.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked to hardly anybody who hasn't had 3 years from first, committed day, like this project's real, there's the money to finish product, and I think that's,
I think a lot of people just don't realize how much goes into it, all the little details that go into making a film.
right.
And making your first film, your first feature,
Mhm.
especially is a huge learning experience. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think the chair, it was about 3 years before, from, when I talked to Peter, and from crowdfunding to shooting to when it was finally released, that was 3 years. It's the same with Zombie with a Shotgun. It was about 3 years.
Yeah.
So right now we're 3 years in, minus a year for COVID. We're 2 years.
There you
go.
Mhm.
So if you look at it like that, it's like we're actually on track. So it's now we're back. And so, for the next, hopefully less than a year, but, to get it all done and dialed in and finished.
Sweet.
So then we should have it out.
Now, yeah. Distribution. What, now that, life is, sort of back to normal, what are you looking to do to get it out? Are you looking at festivals? You're looking at straight to streaming and both?
Well, here's the thing. I haven't talked to any filmmakers that have made any kind of substantial money back from a distributor. So, and if you know any, I'd love to talk to them. But See,
I don't know
so
about
so
substantial, but I know that
No.
our friend David works with distributors and he's very familiar with the whole process of that.
But he's the one who gives us 3-hour interviews on the nightmares of, like, he hasn't been paid at all for his distribution in Germany. They just like hang up the phone on him. Where's my money?
Well, yeah, he gets torrented like mad in
and they-
Germany, but
And they
everywhere
turned it
else
into
is
a
okay.
different movie. But anyway, yeah, he did Redwood Massacre and Redwood Massacre Annihilation, and he's in Scotland.
okay,
And yeah, but we haven't.
cool. Well, I mean, okay. So to answer your question, what I'm going to do is basically it's going to be a DVD release first.
Okay.
So and we'll probably have it only DVD for a few months. So, and kind of like let that excitement, ownership, of the thing, let that kind of play out. And then we're going to go to Vimeo. So, and that'll be rental.
Okay.
So that'll be, yeah. So, and the thing that people do that like kills a film is distributors will put the film out on these free streaming places first. And the thing is, it's like, that's great if you just want people to see it, because,
Right.
and
But
that's
it devalues
wonderful.
the film.
What it does
significantly.
is it gives it away.
Yeah.
It's like saying,
Right.
I just spent like 3 years making a movie. Here, you can have it. I don't
Right.
really care. It's like the studios, they don't do that.
No.
It's like if, I think Disney and it's like even the big guys, like they were charging $30,
Yes.
for a ticket.
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Because they were like, well, the whole family's going to be watching it. So how many tickets would that be? So that was their, that was how they kind of like came up with those numbers, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like, for if you don't put your film out for rental first, you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're giving your movie away, and you will never make the money back.
Right.
So
when we saw that, I understand why they do it, but I also have some reservations about paying like $30 to Disney Plus. It's like buying, digital copies of everything. Why are the digital copies for movies that are not good, not great? There's only 4 people besides me who have ever heard of it or like it. Why is it still on iTunes and Amazon for $14.99? Seriously, it's been in the 99-cent bin on DVD forever. And, it's like, I know you guys aren't paying for media. You aren't paying for storage. You aren't paying for anything. In fact, I know I bought a couple of movies and I would joke with Danny, just the little thing would be spinning. I'm like, this movie's so goddamn old. The disc drive, man, it's way in the back and it's all covered in dust and shit. It's trying to fire up. It's like, oh shit, someone wants this. But yeah, I see where, rental. I mean, yeah, you have to have something to get out there and make money.
I mean,
I wish we knew somebody who was successful
and
with distro.
And yeah, so I'm actually going to counterpoint with you a little bit on the pricing there, because however, it's like if people want to own something, I mean, you can rent it for whatever, but it's like if you want to own it, then I'll probably put it up for like, $10, for the digital, ownership.
Right.
And the rentals, I think for like $4, $3.99. I think that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of is what it is. And I think that if you want to rent it just to see it, then go for it, do that. And like eventually, like Preacher 6 will be on streaming, it'll, it's somewhere down the line. It'll be on Tubi, and that'll be like, basically I'm following the old distribution model, of the studios. So it's like DVD rental, and then eventually, it'll go out to the streaming, services, but probably not Amazon Prime. It'll probably just be like ad based, rentals. I think, like Tubi does ad based.
Yeah.
And, I think
we're huge fans of Tubi.
Hulu does that, I think.
Hulu does ad based, but, cause we talked to Hilton about this very thing. And his experience is Tubi is super friendly to folks like you, to the indie filmmakers and the small guys.
Right.
Not like where Amazon Prime, because we talked to Failure Boys Productions. So they did
Mhm.
Attack of the Taddy Bogle, and that was on Prime, or that was on Amazon Video. It was Prime for a while. Pete Marcy remastered an old 2005 film that they did called Firefly and remastered the sound into 5.1, threw it out there. Amazon accepted it. And then a day later, booted Attack of the Taddy Bogle.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Booted his other
his,
movie.
the movie he had on there first. He put it up. And it had been up there for a while. So the second movie that he put up had been sitting around forever. And like I said, it was from 2005. And he's like, you know, I got nothing to do.
So this was a remastered version of the same film?
No,
a
different
film.
movie. Different movie.
A different movie. And they kicked off one of his other films?
Yeah. And we've noticed we are finding less and less like juicy movies, you know, the indie film stuff.
Right.
You know, on Amazon, Tubi, I just don't have the time to go through all of it. It's like, oh, all right, I'll watch this one. There's like 5,000 more to look at, but I got to start watching something or the sun's going to come up looking through it.
Right. Yeah.
And that has been, I would say 85% of our viewing of films has been through Tubi because it's like a gold mine of independent film, you know, new and old.
Yeah.
So that's kind of great. My only thing with the price, I like the model and stuff, but like 10 years from now, you know, some of these things on digital format shouldn't still be like $19.99, $14.99. They should bring it down a little bit because.
Well, if it's like a 10, 20, 30-year-old movie.
Depends on it though. If it's like, I would pay $49.99 to buy a digital version of The African Queen. I have been trying to find that thing digitally.
Okay,
I did find a VHS though.
Here's the thing. So you just blew your own theory about not wanting to pay for things. So here's the thing. It's like if there was a car, you know, that you wanted to buy 10 years from now, I mean, it would devalue a little bit, but you're still going to pay the money for the car. If you want to own the car, you buy the car. You know what I mean? So it's like if you want to, like,
but I don't have to be happy about it.
You do not have to be happy about it, and it's kind of like, you know, I mean, like as a filmmaker and a producer, it's like if you get these movies made, you got to rethink what you're saying right now, because you're going to want people 3 or 4 years down the line to pay that $10 because that's going to help you make your next movie.
Absolutely. I'm not at all denying the hypocrisy. What I'm saying, when I'm sitting on the other side of the chair, all right, I'll own up to it. But right now, like, okay, so like I loved Flash Gordon, you know, 1980.
Right. Yeah.
It just blew my mind as a preteen. I'm like, oh my God, this is wonderful.
Oh no, it's a classic. Totally.
But when I was looking for it at first on iTunes, I'm like, $19.99. I don't think so, man. And I think we waited till it got down to like $11.99. And it took like 5 years. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger.
iTunes always had like a pretty expensive like model for their pricing. Yeah. But now you're still talking $11.99. So, you know, there it is.
There it is.
Boom.
Well, and even like DVDs. There's a movie that Jeff Goldblum did called The Tall Guy. I love that movie. Danny, for my birthday one year.
Well, the DVD's been out of print for many years.
Ever.
I think they maybe did one printing of it on DVD, and
you got it.
Oh, nobody wants this obscure Jeff Goldblum movie, I guess.
Yeah, she tracked down what turned out to be a rather expensive DVD, but it's that thing. It's one of those movies that's never going to get digitized. And we had a talk with somebody on the show, Julia Marchese. She did a documentary called Out of Print. I think you would love it, especially because you're in LA. She starts out about the New Beverly Theater and then how film, the medium of film is vanishing and the struggle to keep it. And then she just got into all this love of movies. I mean, it's got just fans of the theater to Patton Oswalt and everything. It's wonderful. I think you would be really entertained by it. But what she does talk about how studios have stopped putting things on film or digitizing. So these things that are on film, they're destroying the film because they're tired of the storage. And like Tall Guy is just one of those guys that will never make it to streaming, which is kind of sad. So it's almost like a collector's thing. And I can kind of get that because, we buy film related things. But I did get The African Queen on VHS for free because I bought more than $20 worth of vinyl records for my daughter from a local store. And it was in the pile. Take a free tape. And I'm like, yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Oh.
But in order to watch it, we'd have to bust out that dusty old VHS player that is questionable whether or not it still works.
I just want to say this, and then we're going to start talking about Zombie with a Shotgun.
Yes.
2.
Cool.
So when my daughter several years ago was going to get into Star Wars, when Force Awakens was coming out, she was still just so little. I'm like, you know what? We need to watch Star Wars, but we're not going to watch this new George Lucas stuff. I've got a collector's edition letterbox VHS of the first trilogy. No super stuff. Greedo still, gets fried because he's just an ass, not because he shot.
Not remastered.
No remastered, no anything. But it's just letterbox. So I had to ask Danny's grandfather for a VCR that he had in his garage. Dusty. Oh,
yeah.
You fire up
That's
the tape,
awesome,
and you get that, that shake that lets you know you're watching VHS. So that's how my daughter was introduced to Star Wars. The first 3 films was on
cool.
This rickety VHS. Oh,
I love it.
Oh, let's talk about Zombie with a Shotgun, Part 2.
All right.
So this is in its very beginning stage. In terms of you guys are, I don't know, sort of supposing. Why don't you tell us where that process is right now and kind of walk a couple steps ahead and like, what are you doing right now? And then what's the first goal?
Well, I mean, basically, I was talking to Hilton, about how, what to do, so what's the first step? And I think the first step is to decide you're going to do it. So it's like, it's just going to take the time to kind of like re-excite the audience, because like Zombie with a Shotgun already has an audience,
right?
So I know that so right now Hilton is building up the Patreon, to be able to make the movie, so basically I think once he gets the Patreon up to a certain amount, then we could launch an Indiegogo campaign to for the additional funds to make the film. So because it's like I don't see a whole lot of investors going, I gotta put my money into film right now. So I think for films to get made, it's really going to be about film fans.
Okay.
So I think that it's going to take some time to build up those fans and excitement and how to sock the money away in the film account to make it happen, and so that's going to be the grind of this particular thing. But he's already thinking about what he's going to do and the story, and we're talking about how where are we going to shoot,
right.
all those kind of the details, who's gonna be in, who's gonna come back, and all that kind of stuff, and how to do, because now Zombie with a Shotgun, he's a zombie,
yes.
So it's so that means that any shot that he's in, he's full makeup,
right?
So full zombie makeup for a film, that's a lot, so
yeah.
So you really gotta plan all that out, how to make it happen.
He did say that, he wants, you need to get to the point where they can send him out to LA.
Right.
And there's somebody waiting to make all the appliances that to use through the film. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
it's real now.
It's it's going to happen. So it's just a matter of putting all the ducks in a row and just, I know Hilton's grinding on it, right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. Just it's like all you just decide to do it, and then it just keep putting the feet in front of the other, and however it needs to happen, whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
So T-shirts, Patreon, Indiegogo. It's like it's however it needs to happen, but it's gonna happen.
Oh, you know what? You were talking about reinvigorating. I didn't think about this when we were talking to Hilton. Next time you talk to him, see if he's thinking about maybe if you guys can get a certain level raised, once production begins or the project starts rolling, another comic series that gets people wound up when stuff like that comes. And it's like once you put it out there, it just whoosh, fans out. It's marketing. It's like, marketing while you sleep kind of thing.
Yeah. That's killer.
Would be cool.
Yeah. And we're going to actually, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a Preacher 6 comic as well.
Really?
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like, that was something that I was going to do kind of like later on, like once the film is out. And a friend of mine who's in the film, Tim Matchka, he played one of the demons, and he's a writer as well. And he knows a bunch of comic people and whatnot. And he had offered, he's like, you know what? Why don't we work on this and making the comic? And so he's gonna write the comics, and so I said, right on, man, let's do this. So I actually need to call him tomorrow. But so that's in the works. That is in the works.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I think, and I don't know if I'm alone in thinking this, but I think the past year has kind of changed how people are approaching their projects and their like lives in general.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to ask, how do you think that all of this is going to like affect how you move forward with stuff in the future, with the projects that you're currently working on, with the future projects that, you might work on?
You know what? I think it's like right now it's like working with Hilton. It's like that's like something. It's like, okay, so I have trust that like we'll get it done. And it's like, and I also trust the people like the crew for Preacher 6. So it's like when I produce the next thing, the next film that we make, which hasn't been decided upon, which one that's going to be, because right now we're just focused on getting Preacher 6 finished.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like kind of time will tell how things develop, with production, with what the rules are, all that kind of stuff, with like what we can do. So I think that'll be a big part of it. And also like kind of like finding the people that you've worked with before that you trust, So I think that it's kind of like, this is like the Wild West right now of everyone's kind of coming out of the door, peeking around going, okay, so can we do this now? And right. I think that, so, and there's a lot of, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I think that's, I don't know. I mean, it's like independent film is all the Wild West anyway, so it's like the people that are going to be in it, like now, especially now, are the people that like this is it. It's like a friend of mine who's passed away, Denis Forrest. He's an actor. We were in Andersonville together, and this was like some years ago, and I was I was kind of like didn't know what I was going to do, and didn't have any money, and I was like, I got to get a job, and I met Denis at a coffee shop, and I said, what am I going to do? And then he's an awesome guy. He looked at me and is like, well, what else are you going to do, Kyle? Like, really, I mean, it was like having that all in mentality, and so I think that's what he was saying. It's like, you're all in on this. It's like, there's no going back, so it's like, so basically whatever that what are you going to do? You got to squash that, because you're going to keep going, with whatever it is. And so, and I think that finding those people who are still going, to make movies now, to make independent films now, it's like, those are the people that, who's left, who stuck around, who didn't go, well, shit, man, everything changed. Cause like a year, more than a year,
Yeah.
of everything being shut down, year and a half. Yeah. It's like, so who's left? Who's still doing it?
It's like we're living, one of my favorite genres of older films is Westerns. And the hook, my favorite hook in a Western is the retired gunfighter. Right. So we start the story. This guy's been, raising rhubarb for the last 10 years, but he's got to come back out. And of course he had, a cohort or two or three, and they got to come back in. And it's that whole thing of, well, I've done this for a long time. I have the skills, but who's left? Do I have my three guys, or is there only one of them left? And does he have both hands? Can he still hold a gun? Is he still interested in this? And you think a year is not a long time, but when you're deprived of something, literally deprived of it, not like, well, you got, 6 weeks in between jobs, and then you get another gig, and then you're stringing lights, and at least you're, running scripts on a set, at least you're still tangibly involved with something. But when you've got fuck all, people really have to reprioritize. And some people, I get it, that whole, the heart just explodes. They're like, oh, fuck this. No, this was it. This was the final blow. So I get it, being out there. Essentially what you're doing is you're just looking out your window every day. So who's coming around the corner? Who's coming out of the shadows? Who's going to open the shades? Ah, he's alive.
Yeah, exactly. Find out who's left, who's alive, who's still in the game, and that's all, besides like people that are, students and stuff like that, that have that passion now, and so those are going to be the new filmmakers, and they'll find a way, that I haven't thought of, but yeah, but we're all in this together, as creatives.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely
help each other out as much as we can.
I think there's definitely about to be a new crop of creatives kind of coming out of the woodwork. I think there have been so many news stories about this past year, like so many people quitting their jobs because they're like, well, I think being happy is more important than, whatever it was they were doing before. And I also think that people in general, and this is where my optimism comes in. I think people have realized how important and how vital a part of our everyday life that, films and creatives and everything like this is.
Yeah.
A world, at least this nation, relied on streamers, relied on entertainment. We can't leave the house. Families with kids, this is real stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there going on, and it actually does have a place. Because I think for a little while we were kind of forgetting, and I've brought it up a few times in the past, on, America's love affair with film, with the movie. Kind of seemed like it was getting taken for granted, Like when I talk about like the African Queen, clearly one of the worst effects movies ever. They just didn't care. But you know what? They had Humphrey Bogart. Boom. That was it. It doesn't matter. That's it. So we're going to throw him together with another big name, and we're just going to have the two of them on screen. And it's going to be this boat, and they're going to be like running for Germans, and you forget they're running from them in the film. Three quarters through.
They're not running very fast.
No, it's gorgeous. But man, you can see they just didn't care about making some of the effects look at all. They did like an Ed Wood thing. Let's get the worst stock footage we can, just throw it in. And here's the thing, though. People loved it, and they knew they would come to it because that was the love affair. And then, lately, I think people have just kind of gotten like a little big headed, like, movies, there's people on YouTube. So it can't be that hard. Well, guess what? I think they're finding out that there's a lot that goes into it. YouTube video will entertain a 6-year-old for about 20 minutes. And then they're like, but you give them a movie, So yeah, I think,
yeah. I mean, I don't think. I mean, movies will never go away.
No,
I think that it's like there's a certain kind of storytelling. It's like and there's a place for it all. There's a place for the short term stuff, the YouTube videos, the TikTok. It's like there's all that stuff. It's like it all fulfills something different. That you're kind of like wanting to do. It's like right now I just want to be watching some YouTube videos on random shit just because I was wasting time, or it's like if you're on TikTok and people are showing you clever things, that you didn't know before, so that's its own thing. And that, and then all the social media things and, doom scrolling, looking for what's the next thing, what's going to catch my attention, but then like movies, it's like, I love sitting down and like putting on a film and like kind of going, okay, I know I'm going to be here for 2 hours and sit down and I'm going to go somewhere, and like this film is going to take me somewhere. And there's nothing else like that. So I don't think that, films will always be here. So it's us as creatives to continue taking the audiences on journeys who want that escape.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I think it helps that people are watching indie films and realizing you don't need like ILM level effects to make a movie good. They're periphery. They're just and like we've talked about the Marvel films. They're fun. But Jesus, I'd rather have a whole lot more story than a lot flash bang boom.
Right, yeah.
And we watch. Go ahead.
No, I think that there can be some like overkill on that when you rely too much on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like just as long as things are moving the story forward, I think that's what's important. But it's like when. Yeah, just like I think what you're saying is they started to do this whole particle effects where like everything, blew up into like a million pieces and like, and that's all. Transformers, I think is what started doing that particle effects thing where everything was like spinning around and millions of things coming. It all comes together, and then they would like do that with like, explosions and all kinds of things. And it was like, whoa. It's like there's only so much that you can like your mind can what am I looking? What am I seeing right now?
right.
So it's like you can't even understand like what you're looking at. It's like it's too much.
Right.
So it's like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
As far as visual effects.
Well, and I think people are forgiving because we watch movies, right? And we comment on the effects. Not to discredit somebody, but we'll be like, so we know we found the budget for this film and it was a lot more than most indie people will see ever in their career for a budget. Yeah. It's like, so you can clearly see they put it towards effects, but it's the story that kept it going. But I think people are more forgiving of the, what they would call the B movie effects, right? It's not top houses. Sometimes they can be cheesy, but it's that bottom line we always say, you can say what you want about it, but here's the thing. This guy made a movie, put effects in it, and got it out there. You watched it to criticize it. What have you done? Are you one of the I'm going to make a movie, or are you with the I made a movie? Because
you know what? Here's the thing, man. It's like there are going to be haters. I mean, no matter what you do. So and look, I mean, like I deal with this kind of thing. I've kind of like developed a bit of a thick skin, to it. I used to like get into it with people, in DM that would like, say whatever, about whatever, but it's like there comes to a certain point. It's like sometimes people just like to hear themselves talk, or like feel like they have to have an opinion on things where they just like to express their opinion to someone who I don't know. They think they could do a better job. I don't know, but I mean,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I love how you trumpet, and I've mentioned this on many, many episodes when we talk about people being negative about stuff. Your daily tweets, the simple
Super
thing.
positive.
If you're reading this, you're still here. Keep going. Just keep going. You don't have to be prophetic. You don't have to do this laundry list of shit. I think that simple message, I know for a fact, is reaching people on a daily basis. I think that is fantastic, and
yeah, you have a great Twitter feed, Kyle.
you do.
Thanks. I feel like I mean, I'll tell you this is like, have you been to my YouTube channel at all?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, man, are we gonna be seeing some more? I love the bows. I love the hand crossbow. I love the stuff that you've done in Kyle's film garage.
Yeah. So if you notice, I haven't put up a video in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like since we went to Louisiana, and it was like, I don't know. It's like I went into like the void. It's like the place of like no creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I am going to die here unless I've got to get out of here, because it's like, and I can't explain what it was about, but all I know is that like, when you get to a place and there's like no ideas, there's no inspiration. It's like, and I think that like, as a creator, it's like I thrive off of that. I thrive off of like people and like frenetic energy, and it's like in Hollywood like gives that. So it's like, so for me, it's like I was not motivated to do anything. When we moved, which was like very different. For me. So now it's like, back. I'm thinking about like, doing videos and making videos. And so I'm going to, and a part of it, I'm going to do like some vloggy stuff. So I'll bring, to go to like Hollywood Forever Cemetery and, that kind of stuff, and talk about actors. And so it's like, I'm going to do some cool, different stuff, with it. I will have some bow stuff. I have like a tiny area, that's close to my place. It's like, it's not close to my place. It's like, I have this like little alley, like,
okay.
But so I don't have the yard that I did before, for the bow stuff.
Right.
So I don't want to go to jail. So I need to like cover the area where I would be shooting anything, with the bow. Cause I don't want people because I'm surrounded by apartment buildings. So I don't want somebody to be looking down on me and go, hey, there's a guy, shooting a bow and arrow in Hollywood. Yeah, I don't need that kind of static. So.
I hear you. I was so envious of those videos because we have a crossbow, and like most places in Madison, you can't fire a weapon of any kind, bow, crossbow, firearm, nothing in city limits. Plus, we live in an apartment, so we got nowhere to go. So we have to drive to Danny's grandmother's out in the middle of nowhere to get our zombie hunter on. And do some
that's
shooting.
Cool. That's cool.
It's fun. I mean, that's the thing. Fun. It's fun. But I would watch your videos and I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. So I'm gonna probably do a little bit of that, like, just off on the side there, but I'm gonna put like some lattice, because it's like I have like a 5 foot kind of like alley.
Okay.
On the side of our place. We live in a duplex now. So I have like a little outside area. I'm thankful that I have outside at all. But yeah, so I'm going to do like some camo, kind of situation. So it would at least be inside, and then puts up, some plywood so that there are no errant arrows that go anywhere,
Right.
That's a must.
So I do have plans,
Sweet.
For that. Yeah.
I'm excited.
That'll be fun. Yeah. And the thing is, I've got stuff to edit too. Like, as far as, no bow stuff, but like I have the whole road trip out to Louisiana. I did a whole video, like with the like the first time I drove the 26-foot truck towing, the
Yeah.
Explorer,
Yeah.
I did a video of the whole road trip, which is still sitting on the drive. So, and I will edit that and put that out there. And then I've done some other stuff. Some of the insert shots that we did for Creature 6. So I did a video on that when I was in Louisiana, because like some of it takes place in Louisiana. So I got some stuff out there.
Nice.
So yeah, so I've got some stuff to edit and put on the YouTube channel, and then it's lots to do.
Well, here's my suggestion. I don't know if you got something. So what I think you should do, because I know you got a camera. I know you got, I think it was a Gorilla Grip. Someone had sent you to hold the camera when you were starting the Kyle's Film Garage. Or someone sent you a little.
Yeah.
Because you were doing it off your phone, it kept falling, and someone was like, "Here."
Yeah.
Because you have this Preacher 6 thing going, what I would do is almost like GoPro yourself. Grab that camera, and everywhere you go, when you know you're having a phone call with Hilton, put it up, capture that, and at the end of this project, right? Well, no, that's not Preacher 6, but even still, things that people you are talking to, like about Preacher 6, even just like a phone call, or if you're sitting working on the computer, capture that, man. Cause I tell you what, you're the kind of guy I would sit and watch 90 minutes of all the daily rigmarole shit you had to go through to get this thing done. The mind-numbing, tedious task of staring at a fucking video editor for hours and constantly, shitting around with these 5 seconds. Do I get rid of the whole thing? Does this work? Should I cut it here? Because sometimes the domino fall stops and you have to labor over this little thing. I just think that would be cool. Of course, you'd have to commit yourself to looking at 40 hours of video to edit this journey.
You know what? I'm actually thinking about that because I'm going to have to dive in onto some of the editing myself, which is actually something that I'm going to have to learn. How to like edit on Premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done editing from my YouTube videos on this other Filmora, but you can't really do like film editing on it because of the uploads and downloads of it. Is like you can't transfer things, from this to that from Filmora. So I'm gonna have to learn a whole new editing software, because that's what it was sent to me. Like the edited stuff has all been sent to me in Premiere. So the only way for me to open it is in Premiere.
Yes.
So that means I have to learn how to do that. So and that's
it's
something
hard.
That
Premiere. The last time we talked, I think we told you we made a short film. It was a nightmare. I don't want to get into it. I still have the stuff. It'll never get done. But my problem with Premiere was Adobe was getting it's too expensive. It's too expensive. If I had a $60 million film in my hands that I had to edit, obviously I'd jump into that. I found a way to export all the Premiere stuff into Final Cut Pro for the Mac. Because
I don't have a Mac.
Well, it's not easier. It's just cleaner to look at. But that's the thing is, having that.
But isn't Premiere just it's like $20 a month or something?
Well, Premiere, but then you have you need oh my God, I can't remember the names of them. Audition for the audio and the
After Effects.
After Effects. Thank you. Oh, I keep thinking UI. Yeah. What starts with the U? Nothing. After Effects. I did use that stuff in that, but I'm mostly not getting into it at all with Adobe, just kind of like as a statement. You guys, I used to love just buying the software and that shit would run for almost forever until there was like a format change. And then they pulled the plug on it.
Now everyone's doing all the monthly stuff.
And it's just like,
lame.
But anyway, I think that would be awesome to have. Cause I think, Hilton would be able to give you an outline. Cause I love his documentary formats. He'd be the guy I'd go to Like, I've got
Mhm.
100 hours of my life, man. This is what I was doing. Can you give me like 5 bullet points to break this shit up? And I know he could be like,
Yeah.
but I think that would be cool because I think more people should be doing that because you are the journey and you're the
Yeah.
right kind of person for it. I mean, you are positive, but we know you get frustrated. We know you're sitting sometimes with the doors closed. Fuck. This is bullshit, and that's just the business. But I think that would be a huge boon. I mean, I think that would, if we were doing anything interesting enough to capture, we'd be doing it because I just think future generations, and by that, like every 2 years, new generation of
Yeah, no
directors
doubt.
and indie makers are out. To be able to, dial into something like that and just be like, everybody here is just a normal fucking person. Nobody here is like the god of cinema. Nobody is a 400 IQ genius on filmmaking. Everybody's just trying to get shit done. And seeing things like that, I think that is like the best stamp. Watch this movie. It's awesome. Oh, and by the way, here's how much of a pain in the ass it is to get made. So if you're having trouble, you know what? So is everybody else. I just think it'd be cool. It's kind of selfish. I just want to see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll do some YouTube videos on it, that kind of thing. So, yeah, you could add that into the whole situation. So, it's definitely it's food for thought for sure.
Well, at least you didn't tell me to piss off. So,
no way.
You'll do it offline. No.
Fuck that guy, man, telling me what to do.
Right? Rick.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ideas of things that we could film. Like we've got our trip to Georgia. We do our metal detecting stuff. I do.
Yeah, we took up metal detecting.
Little
Oh,
miniature
nice.
painting.
You know what? That's you could do a YouTube channel on that. That.
Well, here's the thing: got to get out and do it. Time has not been.
Well, that's true.
Our friend, and we're going on vacation in 2 weeks, so it's like every other minute is getting stuff together.
Yeah.
But we are going metal detecting on Tybee Beach in Savannah.
Cool.
So, and that's about like one of the only places you can legally detect in Georgia. That's why we're going there. Most of Georgia is historic sites, and they don't want people out there metal detecting because there's a lot of Civil War battles. People looking for
muskets,
musket balls and stuff. Plus, they're afraid there's a lot of human remains that might come in. But now you can do it on private property if you know someone who you can detect. But yeah, they don't want you like pretty much anywhere else. But we found out Tybee Beach.
Well, I think you should go out right in front of City Hall and just like start metal detecting and see what happens.
Film it.
Film it.
If we didn't have to worry about not being able to pick our daughter up from her grandfather because she's staying with him, her grandparents while we're there, we might do that. But it's kind of hard to call and say, so, Dad, here's the thing. You're going to be taking care of Lily for a while.
He listens to this podcast.
And he'll agree. One thing before this all closes out, is there a particular project that you've had in your mind that you are looking to do? I mean, everyone always ends up with like this, once you get all this stuff, if I could get all the pieces together and get this is like the movie I want to make, or this is the thing I want to write, or this is the part I want to, dive into. Do you have anything down the road that you're like hungry to get to at some point?
Well, yeah, I think the next film that we're going to be doing most likely is going to be the Coop, which is that modern Western.
Okay.
So, yeah. And, but I mean, that's like, we got to see how COVID goes and how the rules are, because it's kind of a big cast. And so might have to change some things, with that, but like, so, which is it's not a horror film. There's no CGI. It's like practical effects, kind of Rambo style, stuff in there. Yeah. So So that would be next. But you probably got a couple of things. Getting Preacher 6 done first,
Mhm.
and then diving in with Zombie 2 with Hilton, and then we'll kind of see if we can get the Coop rolling.
Okay.
After that, so get Preacher 6 out first, and then
Well, yeah, and you
hopefully
got to
have
give
some.
us more Hank.
Oh yeah,
We're dying for
oh
more
yeah.
Hank.
You gotta tell. Hey, you getting Hilton's ear about that. Hey man, you gotta Hank. Let's do this.
Oh, we did.
We definitely did.
We definitely did. Yeah, watch.
Oh, right on.
just watch our feed. His interview will be coming out we have piled up a ton of these episodes so that while we're on vacation, we're going to miss what would normally be 2 recording nights. And we try to do everything 2 weeks out. So we've got like 6 huddled together. So because we haven't missed an episode yet, haven't missed a week yet, and we want to keep it that way. So yeah,
very cool.
We're coming up on 100 soon.
Yeah, in September. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, when Hilton's, we've told him we need more Hank. And he actually said there was more Hank in the original shooting, but editing had to shorten.
There was
on screen.
There was definitely stuff that we shot that didn't end up making it into the film, for one reason or another. So yeah, so hopefully we can sort all that out. And,
here's another suggestion. Tell Hilton to pull some of that shit out and bookmark it for flashbacks. You shot it.
There we go.
Might as well use it.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Hilton's pretty creative. So he'll pull it out from somewhere. Like have a cartoon Hank.
That would be kind of cool too. Yeah, we talked about some of the stuff, but yeah, we nailed them on a bunch of stuff, especially Hank. Got to have more Hank.
Nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, before we close out,
yeah,
I have one last question, which is there anything that you would recommend to, I think you did, you gave some advice at the beginning of the episode, but is there any other advice you'd like to give to filmmakers who are maybe just thinking about starting out, after this last year, or ones who are trying to get into it?
I would say this. There's this heathen channel that I watch on YouTube, and he has this catchphrase, which is find a way or make one. And that would be my advice. So it's like we just don't know, what's going to come, but so find a way or make one. And that's all that we can do, in this time that we're in. So who knows if it'll get easier or harder, but we just got to keep going. Yeah. So that's it. You got to keep going until you can't go anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was watching something and someone had a quote, and I love this quote. I love it enough that I remember who said it and what it was from. It was something in the background. And they were saying, the situation is only going to come out one of 3 ways. You're going to wonder what the fuck happened. You're going to make it happen. You're going to watch it happen, or you're going to be the one wondering what the fuck just happened. Always be in the first 2.
Oh, I like that.
Don't be the third one,
I like it.
Yeah. Universal, I think. We all should do that.
I think so. It works for everything. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Mr. Hester, and I didn't call you Heston, and don't think I wasn't sweating that shit because I thought, well, but I've been thinking of Charlton Heston. I'm like, what the I can't, it's like an earworm. Get out of my fucking head, man.
Oh my God. That's freaking funny. You can't do
this every time, Jim.
Well, that's why I was thinking maybe I should just have you bring us in, because then I'm totally absolved.
Oh, is that why you tried to get me to do that?
A little bit.
I see.
Thanks so much for having me on. You guys are awesome as always.
Absolutely. And
thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
And we're probably going to be hitting you up in a few months to see where things are at. Yeah, and let's talk more about it.
Do a check-in. Absolutely.
Sweet.
I'll be here. I will not be moving. So.
All right. B-Siders. We have been talking with Kyle Hester. And all the links to all the good stuff, his campaigns, the shirts, everything, links to stuff that he's done. Yep. And I'm going to make sure I get a link to Book of Daniel, because that is like the most unlinked thing that you've done. And I think people should have access to it,
Right on. Yeah. You know what? I think that, it's talking about that. I think that they had taken it off of every platform and it was only available like on the PureFlix, like on their monthly thing,
Yeah.
but, it may be viewable elsewhere now.
I'll dig.
So, okay. Yeah. I think it might be on YouTube. I'm not sure if they did it legally or not, but it might be on YouTube.
I just put up the links, man. I don't,
I just put up the links. I don't ask the questions.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So we will find all that stuff, folks. And, we'll hope that you gained something from this. And again, Kyle, thank you so much. And hope you have a good night.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a wonderful night. And anytime, we'll check in a few months.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
What a fun, awesome, cool person to talk to Kyle Hester is.
I know.
I enjoy talking to him every time.
It was too long. I mean, he's just so much fun.
Yeah, it has been too long. I thought you said it was too long talking. I was like, well, hold on now. I take umbrage with that.
Yeah, no. Well, and as, usual, after we closed the recording, we chatted for a little while afterwards. And, he's just really, he's just really great that way,
Jeez.
And, a lot of, a lot of good things to take away from that talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's always really nice talking to someone with a lot of experience in doing this, and especially someone who has recently learned some lessons, as Kyle has.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, and I think everybody has gone through this last year and a half.
It's been a rough.
If you've been alive, you've been through it,
mm-hmm.
right? And it has been rough and rougher on others than for some other folks. It's one thing to be an A-list actor or, a studio director and, have all this going and, the machine stops. Well, you're not collecting any further paychecks, but dude, you've had so many.
Well,
you're doing fine. But, for the indie crowd, man, this has been just savage.
Well, I mean, it's hard enough without a pandemic, collecting
absolutely.
But then you add that on top of it, and then, you take the opportunity to try some new things and see how they work out. And,
it's rough. I mean, yeah, in the best, we've talked about that many times, in the best of circumstances. This is a hard as hell thing, doing independent film. On the best day, it's a major pain in the ass.
Yeah. You have to love it. You have to want it.
Yeah. And there's not been a lot of best days in this last year. But, knowing that, things are opening up, people are coming out doing their projects,
mm-hmm.
listeners, if you're in that situation, you don't feel you're not alone. It's the gates have opened, but everyone's still like, how far and how fast? I think that's the big thing. How fast?
I mean, we're still like that with a lot of things, just everyday things, not even filmmaking things. We went to dinner. We went to and sat in a restaurant for dinner, just the evening that we're recording this for the first time in a year and a half. Yeah.
And all three of us, because Lily's fully vaccinated. We're fully
she's
vaccinated.
Passed for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And that was kind of the thing was, let's do this, let's do the maskless normal thing.
It felt really good.
It did feel really good, but we're not, like gangbusters. Let's do this every night and just live it up for a while,
Yeah.
You still got to wonder, but yeah, when it comes with the filmmaking thing, there is still the potential, very real potential that another, fucking out of control thing could kick off coast to coast.
Yeah.
If not worldwide. Right.
This isn't the first pandemic that the world has had.
No.
And it won't be the last.
And this is one that we don't have 100% grip on it because it's got all these variants and things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an indie filmmaker, that's a hard call. What do I do? I've got this window. But see, here's the thing. Indie filmmaking, you don't just all right, let's do this. And then 30 days later be done. It takes years for each one of these fucking movies to, get financed, get funded, get planned, get written, get shot, post-production, all that. And then you have to get it out.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, like Kyle said, 3 years start to finish usually.
Yeah.
For a project.
Yeah. And, like you said, things can happen. Tick-tock. It's not our first pandemic.
Well, that's the thing. Anything can happen. And I
Yeah.
think that's what the last year has taught us. Anything can happen. It doesn't do you any good to wait for things that
it doesn't
want to go for.
Right. Because something may happen is not a reason to not do something.
Yeah.
Right. But, be prepared. You could get rolling and then lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a pain in the ass. But again, under the best of circumstances, it's, a nightmare doing this. You got to love it. All the hassles and headaches and setbacks that come come from making a film. And then we had some instability to, the global aspect of it. Well, you just got to keep going. You just got to do it. I mean, you don't know. You can't live that. Life's too short to live. What if this could happen? This could happen. Fucking asteroid could hit tomorrow and wipe us all out.
Yeah.
Well, I still do my shit today. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Don't wait for the right time to do your project. Do it when you are able to,
It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? The right time.
Yeah.
You just said, don't wait for the right time, but do it when you're able to.
No, I mean, you can wait for years and be like, oh, I don't know. Like, don't wait for things to come together. Like, put shit together.
Yeah. Do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait for it to fall into place.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, that's good. Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Make shit happen.
Well.
Yeah. And speaking of making shit happen, again, on the show notes, folks, we're going to have all kinds of links. Go out there and help this man make something happen. And you are in turn helping make something happen, and you're making something happen. So, be a part of that. Nobody is asking anybody to throw in like a week's paycheck, any of that kind of stuff. If you can throw out $3, right? Just $3 towards somebody. Like every month, pick one person and send $3 to their campaign. You get enough people doing that, these things will get rolling and going, right? That's all they're asking is, hey, and that's less than a Starbucks.
Well, I think, it's, for me, it's not about like the amount of money that you're able to put towards something. It's just about being able to, put something towards something to help someone do something cool.
Well, right. I'm assuming people who can afford to throw, triple digits at some of these campaigns would do so. But, that's the thing is they're not asking for that. If there's a dollar tier, do the dollar tier. I mean, it's not how much, it's just putting something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, check out our show notes for all those links, and then go check out our website. It's www.lordsofmisrulproductions.com.
Yes, it is. All the things are there. I'm done talking about it. Everything's there. We have a Patreon link. We have social media links. We have all the links to our subscriptions. Merch store. Go there, see it. Everything you need to know is there. Links to all the stuff that is relevant to us is there. Please have a look and a consideration. While you're out there, check out, who we follow, who's following us, communicate. Anything that you see us tying around with other people, please check them out as well, because we are all in this together. We are all creatives, be it podcasters, directors, actors, writers, producers, musicians, composers, all of the jobs that we don't mention because there's hundreds of them.
Art is valuable. Art is useful. Help artists, help creatives. That is the whole point of this podcast. Go
Absolutely.
And do those things.
Yes.
Now I'll step off my soapbox. Until next week.
Well, I was also going to just say, reach out to us.
Oh, sure.
Because we want to get you out there. right? We want to hear what you've done. We would like, hear your thoughts on the show. But if you've got a film, got something that's in the works or something for us to look at, reach out, let us know. We're not gonna get you on the world stage, but we are here to get indie movies, B movies out in front of people, and also have fun because we like them.
Yeah,
like it's a good movie.
Yeah, we do. Well,
okay, now
until next time.
Until next week.
This is America's sweetheart, Danny. It's me, America's sweetheart.
And this is just Jim.
Just Jim?
Just Jim.
All right.
Well, everyone will believe yours.
I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely.
America's potty mouth, sarcastic sweetheart. That's me.
That works too. All right. B-siders, keep creating, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.